So I was in the grocery store yesterday and I saw chestnuts for the first time this season and I was so excited. I can't think of anything that says cold weather and the holidays like chestnuts. They're classic, especially here in the Northeast United States. Now, what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to roast them in the oven. And what you do is you start out by scoring the outside with an X shape. You do this so they don't burst while they're cooking. Plus, the X shape makes it easier to open them after they've roasted. These are one of my husband's favorite wintertime treats, and he talks about eating them as a child a lot. So I thought that I would buy some and surprise him and have them roasted for him when he got home. I don't personally have any memories of snacking on these during the holidays, but I do remember them being in stuffings at Thanksgiving. So I did is I took the scored chestnuts, I put them in a shallow baking dish, and I just sprinkled them with water. I preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and I'm going to go roast them. And then you can see it. This is what they look like when they're roasted. And these are still hot. So hot chestnuts are a little bit hard to peel. Plus, they're a little bit softer than they are after they've been cooled. So you could see that I was able to get the shell off, but then it broke the chestnut, which is fine. You can just pick it apart and eat it from the shell that way. But if you wanted to have whole chestnuts, I would just let them cool down completely before you start to open them up. Probably about half of these chestnuts, they opened where it was scored on the outside, but not all of them did. And so what I did is I took a towel and I put the chestnuts in the towel and I got a rolling pin and just started to gently hit the chestnuts. You don't want to pulverize them, but you're just trying to open up the shells a little bit. It makes it easier for when you're trying to peel them open. And if you do it gently enough, it will just crack the shells and it won't make the whole chestnut disintegrate. Some of these I opened when they were warm. Just wanted to taste what they were like. And then we had the rest of them later on after they cooled down. And when they cooled down, they peeled more easily. And the chestnut was still pretty much whole. So even hitting it with the rolling pin, it didn't break it. Like you can see here, it's starting to make it crumble a little bit, but that wasn't what it was like when they cooled down. When I got home today, I looked up what do people do with chestnuts. I'm just familiar with them as stuffing or just for snacking on. But what I saw when I looked up online, I found out that people will take chestnuts and grind them into flour, and they're a good gluten-free substitute for flour. Sometimes people will use them in soups and stews, so you could use them in a savory way. And sometimes people will use them for sweet things, like make a sweet puree for a filling or candy them. Last year I had the same idea where I was going to get these and roast them and surprise my husband. And I bought some and I kept them in a bag and thinking that I would have them as a treat maybe in January. So after the holidays, it would be a nice surprise. And so I probably had them in the pantry for about 2 months, and then I decided to roast them, and they were not good then. They really dried out. So just so you know, if you're thinking of saving them long term, that might not be the best. And maybe there's a way to extend their shelf life, but just keeping them in the pantry, even though they're in that hard shell, didn't work for me. The ones that I roasted today will be used for just snacking tonight, and this is about half of what I bought. The other ones are going to be saved, and I'll use them next week for stuffing because that's so delicious. And maybe you're going to try this out too. Maybe you're trying to keep a classic tradition going, or you want to start a new family tradition. Either way, if you try it, I hope you enjoy it.